Time with our pets can be some of the most precious moments in our lives. From their never-ending excitement when we arrive home, or a relaxing evening with their comfort, our pets are more than just animals that live with us. They are our companions, best friends, and true members of the family. The bond we have with our pets transcends borders, boundaries, nationalities, and languages. And when they leave us prematurely, a piece of our heart and soul goes with them. Years and countless memories are stripped away from us by an epidemic that has no concern for age, breed, or gender. Cancer. Every year, over 6 million dogs and 6 million cats are diagnosed with cancer, and millions die. All the while, families are emotionally torn as future memories and a long, happy life with their beloved pets are stolen from them. Cancer has no mercy or biases and has resulted in needless suffering and death of our mothers, fathers, and now the agonizing pain that is cancer is taking the lives of our amazing animals. But what are the true causes of this epidemic? Is there a better way? What if both people and pets are tragically dying from cancer simply because they are unaware of the treatments that could radically heal them? Treatments that can be learned and nutritional steps you can take that could eradicate cancer without chemo, radiation, or surgery. Welcome to The Truth About Pet Cancer. During this groundbreaking 7-episode docu-series, you'll be taken on an enlightening journey that can change your life and the life of your pet. You'll hear directly from over 30 experts, including world-renowned veterinary oncologists, immunologists, and clinical researchers, as well as some passionate pet parents, all bringing you the truth about pet cancer.
Today, according to PhDs, the dog has the highest rate of cancer of any mammal on the planet. Literally from last year, them saying 1 in 2 to this year, 1 in 1.65 dogs will succumb to cancer.
1 in 1.65.
And 1 in 3 cats.
We do see commonly dogs under 18 months of age with terminal cancer. What used to be a disease of the old is now unfortunately a disease of the young.
Skeptics will say, oh, we're diagnosing it better, or we're diagnosing it earlier, and that just is not reality. It's now the largest cause of death in animals.
The current status quo treatments for cancer are horrendous. Just chemotherapy, radiation, and surgery. They do not stop cancer, and they do not give people the other options that work better, that are safer, that are more affordable, and that actually eliminate cancer for life.
With metastatic cancer, if somebody gets metastatic cancer, or a dog or cat gets metastatic cancer, that is a virtual death sentence.
Look at the board of Susan Komen breast cancer. Every one of the people, the scientists on the board of Susan Komen, thinks that cancer is a genetic disease. How do we know? Because we look at their publications. Consequently, more people get cancer and more people die.
I never, ever, ever look a client in the eye and say, there's nothing more I can do for you. There's always something I can do, even if it's quality of life. If that's all it is, that's huge. But we never run out of something to do, like what was told to me with my horse. I'm sorry, there's nothing more you can do. That's not an answer. That's not acceptable.
In vet school, they didn't really teach nutrition. You know, although they say vets learn nutrition better than medical doctors, which is really frightening, considering how poor I think the quality of nutritional education was in veterinary medicine.
They're brainwashed to think that doctors are our answer to a long and healthy life, and it's not. It's what you do in your own life and the quality of the food you eat and how you eat and how much you eat and whether you exercise, you're in control of your health destiny. You can't buy good health, you have to earn it.
Veterinarians are the only wellness profession that actually tell you to eat more processed food, and fresh food could be risky. We don't know if it's safe to feed fresh food.
If raw food were dangerous for animals, there would be no animals left on the planet.
When I went to veterinary school, we were taught don't put anything in the dog food. And if you add other foods, you mess up the nutritional balance of the food. Chronic inflammation is the root of all this chronic disease. And so if we're feeding a food that causes chronic inflammation, we gotta do something about that.
They're not smoking cigarettes, they're not drinking, they're not doing some of the things that you and I do that help create an environment that's super available for cancer. They're not stressed out of their minds. You know, they're not doing these things. And so what is it? And to me, it had to be something that we are feeding them. And then as I started reading the label, I was like, I don't even know what 90% of this is.
I have a master's degree in dairy nutrition and I can't read the labels on pet food.
There is a specific experimental model where they take the Western diet, which is almost like the analogy of kibbles really for pets, and they will use that as a sort of a lethal force. They'll induce a disease state that's consistent with metabolic syndrome, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and cancer.
We learned with our dog that you know, the saying, you are what you eat, that doesn't just apply to humans, it applies to animals as well. He's a very healthy, strong German Shepherd, but he was reduced to throwing up every day, being very sick and unhealthy because of what he was eating.
Dry dog and cat food, canned dog and cat food is far from optimal nutrition. By the time it gets down that processing line, and it's been cooked and extruded at over 400 degrees, there is not only a lot of nutrition that's lost, but there's actually a lot of things that are produced chemically within that food that legitimately cause cancer.
We need to start thinking more about, you know, if you want to have the impact that we have in ourselves and all the people that we advise, then we need to do the same things for the dog.
If you're in the wild and you see an animal that eats what it knows to eat, no humans intervening, no veterinarian saying, hey, you need to eat this, cat or dog or whatever you are, they know what to eat. Do you find much cancer in the wild? Well, not unless they're hanging out around Chernobyl.
You won't see wild animals with chronic disease. It's unheard of. It's a man-made disease.
We have an American diet that couldn't be more cancer promoting had it been designed by Al-Qaeda.
Part of my questionnaire when clients come in with an animal with chronic disease or cancer or something, what has happened, what's different in your animal for the 2 months before the diagnosis of cancer? And so often you would see within a few weeks to a month, vaccines.
But vaccines don't make dogs healthy. They protect against a certain disease like distemper, like rabies, but they have documented side effects.
Vaccines are an immune assault. They dysregulate the immune system and they do cause genetic damage.
There is an infectious feline leukemia virus that has been part of the master seed stock for many of the vaccines that are given to not just cats, but dogs, as well as even exotic animals in zoos.
Vaccines or preventives or other pharmaceuticals, the industry generally doesn't look for toxicity and carcinogenicity. They look for general safety and efficacy. Does it work? The government doesn't require them to report carcinogenicity or toxicity. They don't study that.
A lot of times there is no science behind it, and in the veterinary field, we're vaccinating a 5-pound dog with the same dose of vaccine that we're using on a 150-pound dog.
The resident told me, well, when you get your shop, that's what she referred to my veterinary hospital as, they will come by and tell you what you need to give. I was like, who's they? She was referring to the drug reps.
One of my friends, Bob Murnane, who's a pathologist, he told me
when they dissect these tumors, in the center, they find the remnants of the vaccine. Period. That was so direct. I mean, there's the vaccine causing the dysregulation and the tumor growing. And so now what they did at that point, they said, well, let's give the vaccines on the legs so that if they get the cancer, we can cut the leg off. Do you think that might be a clue that maybe this isn't a good idea?
A lot of the toxic gases that are in our environment, you know, car exhaust, jet exhaust, all that sort of thing, all that stuff is actually heavier than air, so it tends to sink low right in that zone where our dogs and our cats are living. So they're actually breathing more of that stuff than we are. You know, when your dog or your cat is laying on your couch or your carpet, there's flame retardants that are in those materials, and they're just breathing that stuff in.
Pesticides, flea and tick treatments. We are putting poisons on the back of the necks of animals, or pills in their bodies that change the biochemistry of the blood, so when a flea or tick bites you and drinks your blood, it dies.
Heartworm pills do not make dogs healthy. And if you look at the side effects reported on heartworm pills, it's a myriad of side effects. So by preventing these diseases, we are putting chemicals or noxious agents in the body that actually have sometimes more side effects than the disease itself.
In pet foods, you're going to have soy products, you're going to have corn products, you might have cottonseed meal, you might have canola meal. So you end up feeding the byproducts of these Roundup Ready crops to pets, to horses, and also to livestock.
Anytime we try to play God and try to do it better than God, it's just a design for disaster, and we're seeing that everywhere.
Now, we know that glyphosate, and moreover the entire formulation of Roundup, which is what they used, is very toxic, and it has all sorts of effects on the body. And it was declared by the World Health Organization as a probable human carcinogen, class 2A. Now, they also determined that it is definitely a carcinogen for animals.
Glyphosate, they have actually shown to alter the microbiome. And when you start altering the microbial population of the gut, you alter a whole spectrum of things that are occurring.
Imagine the three scientists that discovered that their own company's product caused the milk to have high levels of a carcinogen and refused to drink milk from cows treated with their own company's product.
How many people have Glade plugins, wallflowers? How many people are spraying aerosols? These are known neurotoxins, known carcinogens. But most people don't think twice about the chemicals that they're cleaning their floors with, about what they're spraying their rooms with.
Other things that they allow to happen, ethoxyquin is a proven cancer-causing preservative. It's used very commonly to preserve fish meal. If the ethoxyquin is added on the boat at sea, then it doesn't have to be included on the label of the pet food. If it's added at the processing plant, the pet food plant, then it does have to be on the label. So you could be feeding a fish meal food that has ethoxyquin, but you don't know it. And the company doesn't have to tell you.
Fluoride is by definition a drug. Look it up, it's a drug, and it's put in a water supply. That doesn't make sense.
And you know, now that I'm thinking about it, that's so most people
Pets.
most people are feeding it to their pets,
Yes.
or giving it to their pets to drink.
Look at all the pet owners who waste their time bringing their pets back and forth to vets with medical problems, number one, and spend so much money caring for their pets with medical conditions because they don't feed them healthy.
By the time I get to see these animals, they've already been through a lot of different veterinarians, and they've spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, and their animals still aren't healthy.
This is another example of human beings putting an artificial construct onto their animals and then wondering, why are our animals sick all the time? You know, you combine that, the stress of the artificial sleep cycle, with the food toxins, the chemicals, the heavy metals, the vaccines, you know, the tick collars. Of course you're going to get cancer. It's cause and effect.
I try to get people to always ask why. Why is my pet getting fat? Why does my pet have cancer? Why does my pet have thyroid issues now? Same things that are happening with us happening with pets.
Cannabis may have the most potential as an anti-cancer medicine to be explored and documented than any other plant on our planet.
Our dog had a really itchy patch on her back leg, so John had made a cannabis tincture with some coconut oil and rubbed it on her back leg, and she stopped itching like almost immediately.
Even the NIH has admitted on their website just this year that cannabis does treat cancer, although they stress that it's not been approved by the FDA.
Quite frankly, the people who are against using cannabis as medicine just don't understand the science. There are mountains of science that show the medicinal benefits of cannabis. It's indisputable at this point. You know, the only reasons why people are against it at this point have to do with politics.
We're not looking for ways to heal patients or make them well. Fundamentally, we're looking for a patentable molecule. We're looking for a molecule that we can say, this is ours, and we can sell it and make a lot of money.
By and large, please use essential oils on your pets because it can make a big difference.
We have found in our journey with our pets that the things that help us, they also help our pets.
If it was made in a laboratory by somebody wearing a white coat, chances are you're going to end up being treated by somebody in a white coat in a building, like a hospital.
And we can see that her liver down here in her abdomen is a little warm. Her armpits are a little warm where her harness is. And we just take images all the way around the body.
Presidents, CEOs of the companies, they knew in the 70s days when they were lying like crazy. They say, no, it's not addictive. It doesn't cause cancer. And how many people did they fool? How many people did they fool?
Tens of millions.
Probably more than that.
The current situation with cancer for the last 50 or 75 years will go down as the greatest fiasco in the history of medicine. That we have allowed tens of millions of people to die from a treatment that was based on a flawed concept.
And I practiced very, very traditional medicine for the first close to 10 years. And when I was the first thing I was exposed to was chiropractic care for pets. And I came home and I started using it after the course, and I said, oh my gosh, I thought I could have saved this dog. I could have made it walk again.
With chiropractic?
With chiropractic.
There are other metals that can do things for cancer, including platinum, right? Another, very expensive metal.
Well, I mean, you've got platinum-based chemotherapy.
That's right. Cisplatin is a very devastating and powerful chemotherapy agent.
Google supplements for cancer and you're literally going to get millions of hits. And while clearly there's stuff out there on the internet that's just, completely bogus, there's a lot of stuff out there that's legit. I mean, there are thousands and thousands of herbs and supplements that have been demonstrated to have anti-cancer properties.
One of the reasons I like the work that you guys do is because I think inherently that's what you're leading people to, this approach away from, oh, I have a disease, now I need a pill, and what's the name of the pill, to how did I get here, and how can I keep myself from going any further, and then how can I also keep my family and the people that I care about from going there.
The cancer industry is losing the war on cancer, but we, the people, are winning the war on cancer through alternative information, complementary medicine, nutritional knowledge, and independent science.
Part of our mission in life is to make cancer a footnote in history. The hospital that's named after Olivia in Melbourne used to be the hospital called the Hospital of the Incurables, in the 1800s.
For TB it was in those days.
It was tuberculosis, right? But once you get tuberculosis, it's incurable. There's nothing you can do, right? And so they had this Hospital of the Incurables, and they'll say, well, we'll make cancer just like tuberculosis, because that was a belief system then. It used to be a belief system now. People are coming out of that with the education, the knowledge, the access, to a whole variety of new supplements and natural methodologies to put this thing behind us.
Register now for a free screening of our 7-episode docu-series, The Truth About Pet Cancer. Enter your name and email so that we can send you the details when it opens live to the world beginning April 4th. We look forward to seeing you there.